Awesome. Okay, good morning, everyone. We are Arplans. What is Arplans, right? So my name is Joshua Artis. I'm the co-founder and CEO. And with me today is Hannah Armstrong. Together, Hannah and I, we plan countless events from workshops to summits to conferences, 900 and more people supporting sponsorship dollars with 100K and more up and down the East Coast and as far west as Kansas City. And what we've seen in the event planning space is that there's a separation or a gap in the community between these different partners, what we like to call it. Those partners being planners, vendors, and partners or sponsorship and institution individuals who support these events, right? What our plans is the easiest way for you to celebrate your community in any city in any fashion without the hassle. So, what is the problem that we've seen, right? Over the years, as we've planned together, we've seen that event planning is broken, not because people do not want to connect, but because the tools to do so are outdated, siloed, and inefficient, right? So, right now, those planners make uninformed decisions when trying to connect with these vendors. These vendors are struggling with trying to gain exposure with their menus, with the offerings that they're bringing to the table. And those sponsors or those partners, these ones that are funding these events, they lack tools to track engagement, DEI spend, or the real impact of their dollars across the board, right? So the entire ecosystem is siloed and efficient. And where there's inefficiency, there's opportunity. So what's the solution, right? Our plan sits at the intersection in between those event partners and creates a growth engine, right? Arplans is the first platform designed to be a growth engine for the event ecosystem. So we bring all three stakeholders into one connected ecosystem. For planners, we provide them smart matching, payments, and an integrated calendar that allows them to connect exactly with the vendors that they need to plan their event agendas, timelines, inventory management, etc. For vendors, we deliver them smart matching and qualified leads, allowing them to list their menus with optimization and transparent pricing so people don't have to guess how much their event is going to cost. They can just select exactly what they need for their next event, right? So no more cold calling, no more emails back and forth. You just connect with them, book, and pay right then and there. For partners and sponsors, we provide custom dashboards that measures your audience engagement, your DEI spend, and your return on interest from every single event. So instead of those wasted hours and invisible outcomes from the dollars that's spent in the event, from the headaches that you've had to spend all day long planning, and from those vendors that had to stay up all night prepping to make sure that everything's in place, we create measurable growth for those businesses, for communities, and ultimately cities, creating an ecosystem for them to thrive. So what specific value do we provide to every single event partner, right? Those qualified leads, confidence through transparent pricing and menus, and economic development, which is fostering and driving that small business success, as I previously mentioned. And what our plans does really is to support the ecosystem down to the individual. So a lot of things get lost in the noise when it comes to these communities, right? But our entire goal and our philosophy is we want to help the little guy. Those mom and pop shops that don't get that visibility into those larger scale events because they don't have the marketing or they don't know how to present their menus as properly to be able to service to that level. So what's our proof and our traction thus far, right? In just our first year, Arplans has coordinated 13 major events. Our 14th one, which is coming up, which will be Wilmington Black Restaurant Week right here in the city of Wilmington. We have a live platform with onboarded vendors, including those Wilmington Black Restaurant Week vendors, into our pipeline, and growing social and influencer campaigns to highlight these small businesses that drive traffic and visibility not only into their offerings, but also into our website. So this is just not an idea. It's working today. We're delivering visibility, value, and measurable results. So what's our revenue model? Because it's a very large ecosystem. You want to figure out how we're getting a piece of the pie, right? So we drive revenues in two ways, right? One is our website, in which we list these vendors, these service providers, primarily as of right now through a transaction-based model. So we only win if they get business. So it allows, it scales those planners, those vendors, and those sponsors as they adopt the platform, as they continue to grow and drive traffic through our website. And then as we continue on, we'll actually be releasing premium subscription features, which will be something to the effect of event packages, in addition to agenda makers, scheduling tools that allow you guys to plan events smoother and more seamlessly without having to look all over the place for different tools or go through different spreadsheets, et cetera. And then we have our second model, which is our tailored solutions and how we've been able to become bootstrapped up to this far. We have our white glove event coordination with proven return on an interest. So taking our previous skills from working as event planners year after year and helping these different businesses with sponsorship from end to end, with event management and logistics, and ultimately on-site execution. So what is the competitive landscape, right? Obviously, we may not be the first people to think of this idea to connect this ecosystem, but what are the other players doing right now? So when it comes to those transparent menus and vendor pricing, Peerspace is the only one within this space. However, they still don't have the exact price that you need. You ultimately have to type in what you're looking for from your event and submit that as a quote before you get that live booking and traction. Honeybook is probably our closest competitor when it comes to the contracts, the payments, the calendar tracking and milestones. However, they aren't as community oriented as us, right? We're here to support that little guy and ensure that they have a space within the community fueling those local business economies. And Hopskip is ultimately the closest one that comes to us when it comes to our smart matching engine, right? So when you're typing in your event details onto our Arplans website, you're matched with businesses that fit your needs based off your budget, your location, the timing that you're expecting for your event. So these are things that ultimately you'll need to succeed. And then what's our current ask, right? Our goal is to transition or create team members that'll grow as we continue to thrive, vendor acquisition, and that community support, and then technology and data as we advance our platform, and the strategic partnerships. We're looking for warm introductions to city and government officials, and then pilot opportunities to continue to help our platform to grow and thrive. Thank you.